Wait a second, something isn't quite right here. Let's start this review again. There we go, that's a lot better. Hey, before I recorded the footage for this review, I flipped a coin. The plan was, if the result was heads, then I'd review Pac-Man Championship Edition DX before the original Pac-Man Championship Edition game, and if the result was tails, then I'd review the original Pac-Man Championship Edition game after Pac-Man Championship Edition DX. But then I thought about the community, keeping in mind that you haven't seen a modern title reviewed on Rocky Gamers yet, so here you go, a 2010 release. Hey, just think about that and it might make your head hurt. I have Pac-Man fever once again, but this time across several mazes, which can be very challenging and certainly very fun, even for those who are used to the original arcade classic from 1980. Pac-Man Championship Edition DX was released in 2010 to celebrate Pac-Man's 30th anniversary, which we did of course have a massive house party for, which went on until the early hours of the morning. Yeah, it was all about Pac-Man that night. This is a downloadable game from the PlayStation Network and Xbox Live. You are watching the PlayStation 3 version here. This review was released on the 3rd of August 2011, the release date of another Namecode Generations title, Galaga Legions DX, which we'll be looking at soon. Now, I've said this a few times in the past. Please don't think that Pac-Man Championship Edition DX is just a replica of the original Pac-Man game with fancy graphics. Whilst this game does look colourful when played on high definition television and even in standard definition, the gameplay is very different from both the original Pac-Man game and the original Pac-Man Championship Edition game from 2007, which we'll be reviewing in the near future. Pac-Man Championship Edition DX has a much heavier emphasis on scoring than the other games, and with some changes that won't necessarily destroy your gameplay experience. As you've most likely already noticed, the idea is to wake as many sleeping ghosts as possible, get them to follow you, and eat them alive to make them look like a huge firework display. The more ghosts you have in line, the more points you're going to score, as this game relies on maximising combos. If you are playing this game just to complete the courses as fast as possible, then you'll probably prefer the old school Pac-Man game to the score attack mode in this game. Just try to keep away from the Atari 2600 version at all costs. Any version of Pac-Man beats that game. To aid you in your game, you are given several bombs which you can use if you ever find yourself trapped by ghosts. Also, the game slows down when you're about to die, giving you a chance to fix your error. Pac-Man Championship Edition DX is more forgiving than the other games in that respect, but there are time trials there for people who prefer to get through courses as quickly as possible. There is also a mode called Ghost Combo, which is by far my least favourite mode. I'd rather be scoring ghosts off these points off these ghosts than just having a count of how many ghosts I've eaten. Either way, all modes come with a competitive aspect, both locally and online with scoreboards. Getting back to the detail in this game, the courses in particular, they are all beautifully designed, and the layout occasionally changes when you collect the fruit required to make more pallets and ghosts appear. There are many themes which affect the courses and Pac-Man himself, such as the pseudo 3D Manhattan style, and there's even a retro one there which looks pretty cool. Of course, the original maze from Pac-Man Championship Edition is in the game, as you saw at the beginning of this review. As long as we're back at the beginning of the review, because it seems going backwards is the way forward these days, something like that, it's an inside thing. I must add that the game starts off painfully slow if you're playing this on beginner difficulty. Even if you're new to this game, you are most likely better off playing in normal difficulty or even expert difficulty once you get used to the controls, which shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, it's Pac-Man. The most you'll be using in this game is a directional pad and one button to drop the bomb. Of course, like many other arcade games, the higher difficulty you start with, the more points you're likely to end with. The game isn't really that difficult even if you're going at full speed, and if you do happen to die at any point, the speed will drop once again to give you a chance to get back in the zone. So I think that concludes this review. Would I recommend downloading Pac-Man Championship Edition DX? Yes, I would. Or at least give the free trial a try. I believe that'll let you play score attack mode for a few minutes on the Championship 2 course, or Championship II, as in I recommend you to download this game. Yeah, that doesn't work, and I think it's time to end it there. I'll see you at the Rocky Gamers forums and with some more reviews of modern titles in the not too distant future.